at it, disappointing for our guys. Two good football teams playing each other. To fall behind 21-0, I give the resiliency to get back and actually take a lead with 6 minutes to go. And the disappointing thing, we had two chances, right? Our defense had a chance to stop, and then our offense had a chance to score, and we didn't accomplish either of them. So that's a disappointing factor in that game. That hurts as a team, right? And I think everybody's very, very disappointed as a football team today of where we are now. In the reality of the situation, we're 6-2. There's a lot of football still left to be played this season. A lot of different things that can happen in different directions and not just with us, but with all the different teams in the league. So it's our focus to get back into making sure we're performing better, and when we have opportunities to make things happen to win games, we're doing those things to win games. So I think that's a big factor of moving forward for our guys. I don't know. We have, you look early in the game. You go like we've won a couple close games at different times early in the season and up and down play, right? I think your issues are very similar. It always seems a lot less, though, when you win than when you lose, right? Like the issues are like, we won, so it's okay. Your margin is pretty small on winning and losing, even though when you win, it feels like everything's perfect, and when you lose, everything's terrible. The margin is actually much smaller.
Jake Pope was telling me about, he's been satisfied with the focus and the energy he sees at practice. He just wants to see that carry over on Saturdays. In the secondary, just what are you seeing at practice that you want to see come out on Saturdays?
It's all the details and, consistency in our performance is the one that gets, frustrating, right? You sit there and you get into Saturday's game. I think they had 320 yards on 6 plays. Well, that means on the other 50, they didn't have a lot. But you get to the consistency of performance, right? There's some, not that everything else is perfect. You just pick the worst 6 plays, and you have those stats. So to me, the consistency, like I said, the energy of this team. As anybody comes into games, right? It's not easy to come back from down 21 and to actually take a lead in the fourth quarter. That takes a certain energy and resilience and a mindset to do that. Not being, we finished it off in some other games. We didn't finish it off in this one. So that's part of it. But it is like in every aspect of our game, the consistency of our performance from from practice to the game, from one play to the next, from the sideline to the next play, to everything that goes on, you see way too many inconsistencies. And that is, I think it's frustrating as a coach. I would right? You have problems, right? Everybody's got problems. You got to have solutions. So, one of the things that we look at is, hey, where's the disconnect? Why are we not consistent? Do we make sure we're touching every detail and coaching and teaching every detail, not just at practice, in walkthroughs, in meetings, in preparation, and even on the sideline to continue to hammer on those details to get those things fixed.
Coach, Colorado State, their defense ranks near the bottom of the Mountain West in a lot of categories, but one that they don't is interceptions. You just talk about the importance of the turnover battle, especially on the road.
Well, I know where they rank number 1 in the country, and that's percentage of blitz, right? And so, one of the things they're going to do is come after you. They're going to blitz you from every different direction. They're going to start, we got to be careful in warm-ups. They might blitz us while we're stretching, right, before the game. So they're going to come after you in every different way. And a lot of times if you're going to pressure at that level, high risk, high reward when you're blitzing at times. You look at the rewards of the sacks, negative yardage plays, turnovers that they create. They give up some explosives, though, if you're going to you're going to go high risk, high reward, that happens. So, that's the challenge when you're facing this team that gives you so many different blitz looks from so many different directions.
How has McDuffie graded out, and is he the kind of guy who, when you do need that leader, he's been there for that?
Yeah, he's solid. He's never a big vocal guy. When he does speak, though, people listen. Up and down at times, he didn't grade a champion this game. For us, I think people look at whether there's a system or something that people look at, but I don't know if they always know what we're doing. I think he's a consistent player for us throughout the year. You see by the number of plays that he plays for us, the leadership and the consistency he brings to the middle, which is very, very important.
And when you have a team that has replaced their coach, I know they've played since then, but in the past when you play a team like that, is there a sense of they're playing for the new guy, or do you think about that this week in terms of how motivated they are?
No, they're going to be motivated. I don't doubt that. They want to play. They have, and they can really, probably, can throw caution to the wind, which, defensively they kind of do a lot already to start with. I think one of the big challenges is they're, obviously they're coming off a bye. This is one, I think, another team we're playing coming off a bye. And you add to that in new coaches. So, as you're looking, where the carryover, they've played one game since the change. So I'm sure, when that happens in that first week, they're not going to implement, and it's just such an immediate, short period of time, they're not implementing change. Where last week, now with the bye week, they had an opportunity to make some changes. So they're probably going to present us with a lot of different looks and things we haven't seen.
Did you, you say coming back from 21-0, that translates to fight in your kids?
Yeah.
Were
Shouldn't
you
have been
okay?
down. Hopefully we're not down 21-0.
Right, but were you okay with that level of competitiveness to not only come back but try to get it done?
Absolutely. When you get to me, that we do some of the hard things. That's hard. Consistency of fitting a gap, making sure I'm in the right coverage zone drop, making sure I'm in the right plane of leverage or what I'm doing. That should be easier. And dealing with the hard part, which is, holy cow, we've dug ourselves a massive hole. How do we fight back? And I always think that's much harder to keep that mindset, that fight, that positive energy, that hey, that we can make it happen attitude. That's sometimes harder, and so I think that's some of the frustrating things within the team is, we do as a team, we do some of the things that are really hard, and we mess up some of the things that shouldn't be as hard. That we can control. Little attention to detail things. And but again, that gets to me, which is I got to make sure every part of our preparation, how we practice, how we meet, how we teach, are we, we're right? We have a problem. What's the solution to fix it? And hey, just do it better. That's not a solution. We got to change some different things that we're doing, and we're going to change some different. We're making some changes.
How is Calandria?
Good. Yeah,
So you got over the.
Yeah. He just had the flu of the bug. We haven't practiced yet. Yesterday was the day off, but they said he was feeling better yesterday. He said, "Look, I saw him earlier. Still looked a little pale, but it is winter, so." We're getting into winter, right? Or it's fall. It's not summer, so I'm feeling a little pale myself right now, and with my tan lines. But.
Coach Tyson Summers, I know he was on your staff in Florida. What can you say? What do you know about him?
Well, obviously, really intelligent football coach, and did a great job. Came in with us in between jobs. Came in as an analyst, worked with us. Ended up working at different times on both sides of the ball. Very, very. Good football coach. You watch him. Very innovative football coach. Which some of the things I like of not afraid to think outside the lines. When you see the creativeness they have, especially on the in his background on the defensive side of the ball. As you talk about their creative, their blitzing, how they're a little different than other teams. Heck, that's how we kind of got where we are today. We weren't afraid to, think outside the box and try something that other people won't try. And I think he does a really good job of doing that. And, and obviously he's going to do a really good job of being the interim coach, and I'm sure, he's hoping that he runs the program well enough they give him an opportunity to become the permanent head coach.
Coach, looking at the tape defensively, specifically in the first half against New Mexico, what kind of jumped out to you, and how does that factor into your preparation for Colorado State this week?
There's so many different things that jump out at you. You're right. I mean, we started the game with a 3 and out. That jumped out as a very positive deal. We had a couple of good stops. We had a couple of miscommunications. We had a couple of misfits. We had a couple of missed assignments. We had a couple of missed executions that were there, right? A couple of calls that, we got to look at it. We make the right call in the right situation, all of it. So it's hard to put if it was one little thing, right? It's just, okay, we have to fix this one little thing. It's one guy making mistakes. We're going to get him out. He's not going to play anymore. Hey, it's whenever time we're in this one look, we're getting beat defensively. Hey, every time we call this blitz, our guys screw it up. It's not the one thing. It's a bunch of little things that you got to create and find ways to make sure how are we correcting the whole, right? And and as it is, it's like, oh, okay, well, we can, hey, if don't call that blitz in this situation, don't correct this one guy here, correct this guy here. You got to, that sounds easy, but I got to make sure that we are correcting things the right way, right? I mean, are we in the right looks against the right offensive plays, against the right formations? Okay, are we fitting it? Are we teaching it the right way so everybody knows exactly what happens? If a variable happens, we know how to adjust to the variable, because you're always going to get variables in the course of the game. Are we communicating? Where's the communication breakdown? From the sideline to the field, from the guy calling it on the field to the guys when they shift and move and we have to adjust, right? Is there, one of the plays that the whole back seven got the adjustment, the D-line didn't. What was the communication breakdown on that specific play? And is it a general or is it a specific to this? Or where are the communication breakdowns happening? So it's adjusting all of those different things. And first half, second half, it's everything, of making sure that that we get it fixed. Thank y'all.
Yeah, Jake, Coach talked a lot about kind of lack of consistency and trying to find that. As a player defensively, how do you find that? How do you find consistency?
Really the only thing you can do is, come out to practice each and every day and find the things that we had messed up, last week and in the game, and just build off that, You have no choice but to move forward in times of adversity, and it obviously has to be fixed, and it will be. The consistency has to be better. The limiting the explosive plays has to be better, and that's been one of our main problems the past couple weeks. So we're going to work really hard this week to fix that.
Nick, want to talk about just what you're seeing from the offense? I know Calandria was battling the flu, but what did you see on Saturday from your guys?
I think we played all right. There's definitely things that we can correct. Having 2 fumbles or drive killers, that's at least 6 points, could have been 14. That would have swayed the game. I mean, it's tough, but if that stuff happens, I think our mindset on the offense is, oh, well, we're going to score next time. So, I'm proud with how we rebound from stuff like that, but we've got to start eliminating that more often.
And for you, Jake, you told me about just the focus and intensity you see at practice. You want to see that carry over on Saturdays. What are those small details that you guys need to get fixed?
Just little things like gap assignment, making sure we're getting out of the stack, on our D front, making sure we're flying around as DBs and not blowing coverages. And because, explosive plays are sometimes drive killers, and some of them end up being touchdowns like they did in the game. And it's a really big momentum swing. We got to start playing better complementary ball with the offense and defense. And like I said, there's not a person on this team that's not going to work towards that, staff and player-wise. And it's going to be a huge thing this week for us to focus on.
Get your thoughts on Colorado State, both of you guys. I guess Nick first. They blitz a lot, from what coaches are saying. Your thoughts. Have you looked at much tape of them yet? What do you know?
Yeah, I've watched a little bit so far. We'll definitely dive more into that today in meetings. But they blitz a lot. They're a good defense. It's going to make things challenging. I'm not the guy who's deciding what we're putting in the play sheet this week, but I would imagine the coaches have got it figured out. We'll probably it's going to be dealing a lot with the blitzing packages and everything that they're bringing. So just see what the coaches have to say.
Your thoughts on Colorado State, their offense, what you've seen of it?
I think they have some pretty good players, a nice front. I know they have a really good defense too. We're going to dive into some of their tendencies and things of that nature this week. But like I said, we need to focus more on what we're doing wrong, because a lot of the mistakes you make are on us. It's not so much what the other team is doing. But we're excited to go out and have another opportunity to show what we can do against them this weekend away. So.
Yeah, Nick, Coach also talked about coming back from 21-0. That's a big hole to climb out of, but you did it and you actually took the lead. Like, what did that say about your team, and how important was that to show, even though you came up on the short end, to show that that's possible when you get down like that?
Well, I think what Jake was saying earlier with complementary football, we came back from a 21-0 deficit, but 7 of those points were because of the defense. When we're playing complementary football, I think we can play against, beat any team in the nation. I think a lot of our problem is that we're not playing complementary football at the best times. What it says about the offense and really the defense is we're never going to give up. There's the Jordan saying, I didn't lose, we just ran out of time. And I think everybody on the team has that mindset that we know we can play against anybody, we can come out of any hole. It's just, it unfortunately didn't happen this week.
How important was it to show you could do that?
Play complementary ball.
Well, just to come back, just you're down 21-0 and not let that just kind of run away from you.
Yeah, and I think we've been doing that the whole season. We've been playing a lot of catch up this year, but like I said, and like you're saying, it shows the grit that we have, and we're never going to give up no matter how far down we are in a game, and that's one of the best things about this team, offense and defense wise. Like I said, it just shows a lot of. We're not going to give up. We're not going to lay on our back. But like I said, we can't get down in those holes in games. Like this weekend, it kind of showed. Sometimes you come up short, and we got to start faster and keep the lead in games.
You and Brian, you scored a lot of touchdowns already. How would you grade your season and tight end group as a whole?
I think the tight end group has done phenomenally. I think we've got guys in the room who at any other program will be playing a lot more snaps, and I think they take that and they accept it. And it's unfortunate because I think all of the guys should be on the field, and most of the time it's just me and Barquise, but I think anybody in the room could go out there and be successful. They could have the same amount of catches, they could have the same amount of touchdowns. It's just, I guess, you can only play so many guys at one time, but I think our tight end room's been phenomenal this year.
Is it satisfying for you to find the end zone after all these years in different schools?
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun being in the end zone, but I guess I'm really, and I'm not just saying this, I'm doing whatever it takes for the offense to be successful. If that means that I'm staying in a 3-point stance blocking the entire game, I'll do that. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And I actually do think Duff is pretty verbal out there. You know, he's one of those guys that is always trying to get the guys right and get us lined up. He flies around, and as you saw in the game, he made some really nice plays, and he's been doing it for us all year. He's one of those guys that a lot of the younger guys count on and look up to, and I look up to him myself. I love the way he works. I try to implement that in my game as well. And you know, he's been great for us, and you know, I can't wait to see him keep growing throughout the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.